Hi guys, my name is JJ and I'm going to tell you a story about dragons. But before we start, I have to fill in some context here. We have to go way back. I have to take you back before armchairs, before lamps, before storytellers, before you, before your parents, before their parents, before all of your ancestors, before there was a planet Earth. We have to go way back. Like way back. Before there was even a solar system, before there was even a galaxy, no Milky Way. We have to go back, even before there was a universe. No universe, nothing. So back there, where there was nothing, and I mean nothing, back when there was just darkness. I'm trying to imagine that, just darkness, infinite darkness, nothing. You can't have no reference points. You don't know how deep it is. You don't know how far it goes. There's no time. You can't tell how far or where or what direction. Just darkness. There's this one point of light. One tiny point of light. It seems tiny because there's no reference points, right? You can't measure it to something else. But actually, there's one point of light. It is this huge, galaxy-size sun. It is huge. It's like it's this pristine sphere of light, and it's gargantuan. It's the biggest thing you can even imagine, right? And this pristine sphere of light, this sun, this blazing sun, this glorious sun, is alive. It's alive with energy. There's solar flares erupting from it, and these solar flares, these currents of energy, they sort of worm their way across the surface. They sort of seem to dance. They seem to collide and then knot together and then explode and then go up into the air and then fall back down, and these seem like solar winds, like just random energy to the casual observer. They seem just like an electric current of fire, nothing alive. But actually these currents of energy, like fire and electricity in a current, they are alive. They are sentient beings. They are dragons. And this is where the common mistake is. Dragons aren't scaly things with fangs and horns. They are pure energy. They are beings of pure power. We talk about electric power, nuclear power. We think of that, but just pure power. No conditioning, just pure energy. That's what they are. And these living, intelligent creatures made of pure light, pure energy, they play games. And we all know that if you're an eternal, immortal being, you get bored. So what do? You play games. You play games with each other. And they are fantastic at playing games. And you know why? Because they play games with their dragon breath. And dragon breath is not like anyone else will tell you, just fire, burn. No, that's not how it is. Dragon breath is actually dragon song. And dragon song is very special. It's very mystical. Because whenever they sing a word, it manifests. It goes. So if they sing, baked beans on toast, there would be baked beans on toast right there. Or they would sing, treasure. It was almost as if the mist from their breath would condense and then start to glow. And this is why it looks like fire, but it's not fire. It's not actually fire. It's the word vibrating with their breath, getting, building up the friction, making light, and then suddenly the form of their song comes to reality, manifests. And they're good at doing, objects, obviously. But what they're better at is singing entire realities into existence. They would sing, a kingdom filled with kings and warriors and wizards. And their song would pulsate out of their mouths and become this giant bubble. Almost like a portal. It was just a giant bubble. And in that bubble would be the reality. And they would just jump in there. And they would start playing. They would sing, I am a king. And their breath would fold back around them, like envelop them completely, and take the form of a king. And they would, it's like a costume. They would be the dragon inside the king, and it would look like they were just kings. And you can tell it was a dragon. And they would play like this, I am a king. And another one would sing, I am a princess. And they'd be princess, oh, save me. And the other one would sing, I am a brave warrior. And, breath would suddenly materialize into armor. He'd have his sword, and he'd go saving the princess. And they play inside these realities like that. And they had massive fun. I mean, just massive fun. All except one guy, one dragon. Let's call him Fred. Fred the dragon could not sing. I mean, he would try to sing, but oh my god, he just couldn't succeed. He'd sing. So, for example, we tried to sing Apple, right? And he'd go, Apple, right? And instead of an apple, it would sort of condense. He'd get some bits of it right, but mostly it wouldn't work. And he would just get like apple puree. I mean, it wasn't an apple. It was just like mush, right? So, for example, we tried to sing, I am James Bond. And instead of a gun, he'd have, I don't know, he'd be in pajamas, right? Like, none of the dragons could play with this guy. He was just not good at singing. But he did have one special quality, which is he could sing silence. I mean, it's hard to explain in words how a dragon sings silence, but he could. He would just intone silence. It's like everywhere there's this white noise, but as soon as he opens his mouth and breathes, that white noise would simply disappear into this black hole of silence. And that had an uncanny effect on the singing of the other dragons, because all of their songs would suddenly disappear. So they would be in the middle of playing a game, and they would be like, "Oh, I'm a king, and I'm fighting this other king. I will have your kingdom." And then there would be Fred, and he'll be like, "Silence." And then all of their song, their magical, mystical song that had formed their reality and their costume and everything, would just go and they'd be back on this pristine sphere of light, back on their sun as formless energy dragons. I mean, the game would be over. They were like, "Fred, what the hell, Fred? What's going on here? I mean, don't do this, man. We're trying to play." And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I was lonely. I missed you." And they'd be like, "No, Fred, that's it. No, you just go over there. You go in the corner." And that's how Fred would spend his days, mostly, just sort of by himself, looking at the other dragons playing. I wonder, what they're playing. But they never invited him anymore. So poor Fred, right? But one day, all of the dragons, except Fred, decided to play the biggest ever game they ever played, right? The biggest, most ambitious game. They would sing the universe into existence. I mean, it's never been done before. They were, they're thinking, can we do this? And they said, what the hell, let's give it a go. So they flew up from the surface of the sun, like massive solar flares. And they were there, looking around in the darkness. They took a deep breath in. They were storing up their magical breath, because they would need all of their breath to sing this song. Universe. And they were all of them singing together like a massive choir of universe, and out their breath, tiny little points of light, and they would grow, and they would grow, and they would expand, and then the breath would expand into space, infinite space, and these balls of light would suddenly expand into suns, and everything would sort of start taking shape, and they would sing more. They would sing galaxies, and there would be galaxies there and there and there, and then they would go into the galaxies and have a look around. They'd be like solar systems, planetary systems, and then there'd be solar systems and things, and all the planets would be their moons. And they would go down deeper into the level of this dream reality, and they would sing on that planet. They would sing sky, oceans, trees and wildlife, and on that planet there would be skies, oceans, trees, wildlife, and it was beautiful. I mean, having the times of their lives. They're like, wow, we can really do this. And they said, okay, let's make it fun now. Let's be stuff. Let's be people. And they started singing wonderful things. They started singing, I am a king. One of them would be king, and they would sing, I am a brave warrior. And then, he'd have his armor, his sword, his horse. And they'd play, and they played, for aeons and aeons, and their games got complicated. Eventually, they played so long and so fast. They started to evolve. Their technology. They started to sing about civilizations and stuff like that, and they played for such a long time. I mean, I think that to Fred it seemed like they were gone for days. I mean, and this was the crazy thing, because to Fred, they were gone for days. They were like, oh, okay, this has been a long time now. These guys, they don't usually play this long. But what was happening inside that reality, the universe they had played, is that time had condensed, and the condensed time was the thing was that the time had condensed in their universe. So to Fred it was 2 days, but actually aeons had passed. I mean, they had been playing this game for eternity, almost. I mean, eternity minus a day. And Fred was like, to him it seemed like 2 days because he was outside of the time bubble, and he was looking up from his central sun, from this pristine sphere, and was like, wow, they really played a game. Jesus Christ, there's no darkness left. There's just universe. Wow, they really did well. But it's been a long time. I think I should check on them. They won't like it, but I think I should check on what's going on. So up Fred went. He flew into the universe, and he was looking for it. Where are my brothers and sisters? Where are my other dragon? Oh, I can't find anyone. Oh, it seems they're all there. They're all there on that one little planet there. Okay, I'm gonna swim. I'm gonna fly through there. I'm gonna land on the planet. And there he was. He was, on planet, and he was looking around. Like, oh, they've done this is an interesting game. This is you've got some villages. You've got some castles over there. And he was looking for the people, and he found one. And Fred hadn't put on the costume yet. He was just this being of pure light, pure energy. And he came up to this guy, and he said, "Hey, bro, what's going on? How you doing?" And the guy freaked out. He was like, "Ah, what the fuck?" Ah! Apparently, he'd forgotten that he was a dragon, right? Like they'd been playing so long that Fred's appearance without a costume scared him completely. I mean, he couldn't tell. He didn't know what was going on. He was like freaking out, like, dragons, right? I mean, like, poof. And Fred walked around. He met different people, and they all had the sort of same reaction. And then he's like, okay, I'll try and put on a costume. I can't sing, but I'll try. And he sang, "I am a human with some clothes on," something like that. I mean, he's not good at singing, and he's not good at imagining stuff, so I mean, it would do. It wasn't the best human, but it would do. So he walked around like a human, and he started talking to people, and they were miserable. I mean, one guy was a homeless guy. I mean, why would you play being a homeless guy? It sucks. I mean, he had no belly, any clothes on, rags, bruises, cuts, beard. His teeth were falling out. He was wrinkly. Obviously, it was everyone. It was like, yo, why are you playing this game? And the guy was like, what do you mean this game? This life. I mean, and the guy was getting philosophical, like, you're calling my life a game? How dare you? So they had completely forgotten they were dragons. And he tried to tell the homeless guy, you're a dragon. I mean, just snap out of it. Sing yourself out of it. But they had forgotten how to sing. All of them had forgotten how to sing their dragon breath. It was sad. They had been playing so long that they had forgotten they were dragons. They were now trapped in their illusion. And Fred looked around. I mean, he was like, what? This is outrageous. And he flew up. He didn't care anymore. He just flew up, and he just surveyed the whole planet. And everyone was miserable, bloody miserable. I mean, they'd been playing so long, and they'd forgotten. And no one knew how to be happy anymore, because it had stopped being a game. They thought it was real. So Fred was like, wow, these guys are really suffering. How can I help them? And he remembered, I'll sing silence. So with all his heart, because it would take a gigantic effort to dissolve what they had made altogether by themselves. So he filled his heart with compassion, and he was like, oh, these guys are really in pain, really suffering. And he breathed in, and he sang, and the silence vibration was so loud. I mean, it was deafening silence. And as the song spread out like ripples through their reality, everything dissolved, everything melted away. So the kingdoms were gone. All of their costumes were gone. The planet dissolved. The solar system dissolved. The Milky Way dissolved. The universe dissolved. Everything dissolved. And they were free at last. these dragons that I had forgotten they were dragons. They were at first like, oh, what the hell? Where did the body go? I'm this strange sort of worm of energy, like a lightning bolt. Oh, but it feels good. And then slowly the memory, suppressed by, this role-playing memory, rose up in them, and they were like, oh, wait, we are these cosmic beings with infinite power to create reality. And they were like, oh, we were stuck in that dream, and it was terrible. Oh my God. Thanks, Fred. Where is Fred? We need to say thank you. But, Fred had flown throughout the universe, and he'd sung his silence throughout, and it was just gone. It was back to darkness, and this one point of light, their home, the central sun. And Fred was there, and he was waiting for his brothers and sisters to come back, and they all flew up in a swarm. I mean, it was beautiful. It was like a giant group of meteors flying through darkness. And they landed all around Fred, and they were like, Fred, you're the man. Thank you, Fred. You saved us. We'll never play that game again. Jesus. And Fred was like, guys, you always say this, and I always end up having to sing silence. And that's the end of the story. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.